A lot of news today, Jeff, on how AI is being used to improve the products, the services. And one new feature that's going to get a lot of attention, I'm sure, coming to Gmail is Smart Compose, where this feature that's going to suggest phrases and sentences, Jeff, as you write an email. Walk me through how that's going to work. If Josh starts a conversations with Jeff, how does Smart Compose exactly work?
We want to make users more productive, and a lot of times is spent in email writing things that are sort of relatively straightforward. A really smart person looking over your shoulder would probably be able to guess what you're about to write in the next sentence. And we want to make the system able to do that for you.
You know, for the feature to be most effective, you would need, I would think, Jeff, that much more data about users, that much more information about users. Do you think users are going to be comfortable with that, Jeff?
You know, obviously we're very careful with users' data, and they're sensitive to their privacy concerns, and we give users a lot of controls over how data is used. And for this sort of thing, it's not like there's anyone looking at your data. It's just a machine learning model that has been trained on the aggregate of lots and lots of email messages that can be used to complete messages that you might write yourself.
There are a lot of tech companies, Jeff, pouring a lot of time and money and resources into building their own assistants. What are the necessary components to create the most effective assistant?
Part of the goal of our assistant product is to offer you that information on whatever device you're on, be it your phone, be it a speaker in your kitchen, and allow you to sort of ask questions of it and respond succinctly.
Do you think, though, as you look out and you build this assistant, that that's really your competitive advantage, the experience here?
You know, clearly we've been working in sort of the main space of organizing information, and the assistant is really an extension of that, where we want to organize your personal information and the information that you need at your fingertips, and also help you accomplish things that you want to do.
Another way AI is being used, Jeff, under your watch, is it is being used as a way to remove offensive content from YouTube. Is there a challenge or a concern, not just for Google, but other tech companies?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously a difficult problem because the volume of information there, it makes it sort of impractical to completely have humans look at every possible piece of information, right? So you really do need this symbiosis between intelligent machine learning algorithms and other kinds of systems that can identify things that seem questionable, and then have humans be the ultimate arbiter of, like, is that really offensive or not?
How do you see Google incorporating AI into new lines of business? You know, obviously on stage here, there's a focus on healthcare, right?
We actually are discovering new kinds of things that doctors didn't even realize were present in some of these sort of visual data. So for example, from a retinal scan now, we can actually assess someone's cardiovascular health, which is a test that normally you'd have to do a more invasive blood draw and send it to the lab and get the results back.
And Jeff, you know, there's so much opportunity with AI, but as Sunder suggested on stage, there's also, you know, potential ethical ramifications of the technology. And I want to get your take on, you know, these reports that we've seen that some Google employees are unhappy with the company's contract with the Pentagon, in which AI could be used to improve drone strikes. You know, you have a lot of very smart engineers reporting to you. What are they telling you about that?
Well, I think, you know, it's important to understand what kinds of uses we want machine learning to be used for. And I think, you know, as a company, we're sort of debating what kinds of work we want to be doing.
A final question here, Jeff. I do, as a longtime Google veteran, I needed to get your take on this. You know, my colleague, John Ford, he spoke with Microsoft, Satya Nadella, who said his company had a real edge when it comes to competition in the cloud. And specifically, Satya talked about trust. And he said Google relies on advertising revenue to support its cloud business, and that could run counter to the interests of its business customers. Is that true? You know, as a guy who spent his entire career at Google, do you think Microsoft has some type of trust advantage with customers?
I mean, I would say that Microsoft is in a lot of the same businesses that Google is in. So they run a search engine that gets advertising revenue and so on. We obviously get more revenue from advertising, but I don't think there's any big mismatch here. I think really what cloud customers care about is, can they get their problem solved on any particular customer sort of provider's cloud products. And I think we have a lot of advantages there. One of the things we've been doing is operating large-scale computation for much longer than other cloud providers for our own internal purposes, and we're now offering a lot of these internal services we've built as external services that people can build on top of, that are the same things that power our own Google products.